FIFA 2026 World Cup coming up in the Americas, Canada, Mexico, and the United States in just a few weeks from now. But qualification for the Super Eagles of Nigeria has been on a very treacherous road. They couldn't qualify straight away from the group of the 9 groups. They couldn't make it straight qualification, and so they had to go through the playoff. And the first of the playoff games is coming up in Rabat, Morocco, in just about 24 hours or so from now. But in the last 48 hours, the news media have been awash with the story of the Super Eagles of Nigeria not training. First, they arrived into what has been described as a substandard hotel. Thereafter, the team has refused to come out for training owing to the fact that they have been owed bonuses and allowances ranging back to 2 years ago, and that if those bonuses are not paid, they will not come out to train. They've lost already about 2 days of training, and if they don't train today, we are even hearing that they will not train and they will not play the match itself against Gabon in Rabat, Morocco. What is the feelers you are getting, China? You are a veteran.
Meanwhile, they play the match regardless.
Meanwhile, first of all, let's congratulate you.
Boycott the war.
Let's congratulate you for your award from the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria as a veteran here in Nigeria. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much, Peter. Back to the Super Eagles. I believe that they will not boycott the game. That game will be played tomorrow in Rabat. I do not see Nigeria not play the proper qualifier because of this. Having said that, the players are adamant. They did not train yesterday. They're saying they will not train today. And there are conflicting reports about it. I mean, one report says they've not been paid bonuses since 2019. That would mean 6 years ago. Another report says the players they are paid their bonuses before now, but we are asking for special bonuses for these qualifiers, these playoffs. Yet the third report says at the time of Amadou Pinnick handing over to Sheikh Ibrahim Guzo, that the players decided to forfeit all bonuses owed in the Pinnick era, and they started counting from the Guzo era, so they're only being owed for 2 years. So you can see, but bottom line is that players are being owed. Now, why are they being owed? There are people that ask, it's not good to be owed, but the timing is wrong. Please, when is the right timing? Because you can only want to address these issues before a game. If you do it before a qualifying game, they will say wrong timing. If you do it before the AFCON, they will say wrong timing. So when really is the right time to time it? I think that a lot of people have said we must put an end to this at some point. Now, if point is now, maybe not. I think that money will come eventually, and the players to play the match. But for how long we keep doing this to ourselves and our country? I think it just shows that the Nigerian Football Federation and the Sports Ministry or Sports Commission has not really done the right thing.
Well, talking about
the players for this.
Talking about the National Sports Commission and the Nigerian Football Federation not doing the right thing. A couple of months ago, I think at the inception of the National Sports Commission, we heard of the presidency charging the Sports Federation, the Football Federation, to ensure Nigeria's qualification for the World Cup, given the fact that we did not qualify for the last World Cup. And that charge was funded to the tune of about 3 billion naira or so, if my memory is correct. Will you say that this 3 billion has not been used properly? Because if it should have been used, then I think bonuses and debts owed in the past should have been clear to ensure that the team is on a clear footing. Beyond that, there is a provision for these bonuses as well. What do you think? Do you think we've hardly had an effective intervention body or something as well that has gone down the drain?
When that body was set up and I heard that the president has given them a grant of 3 billion naira, the question I asked was, what was this money for? Because you have a team that is preparing for the Super Eagles. Already you know the schedule. The players come to camp 5 days per game. The players are hosted in the state the game will be played, like in Nigeria studio, and all expenses are paid by the Akwa Ibom government. for away games, the players will fly, chartered flights to the away game, 3 days to the game. So I kept on asking, what was that money for? So it was not like the players had not been sleeping in hotels before, or they haven't been flying chartered flight before. What was that money for? So I guessed at that time that that money would have been to motivate the players more than before. So that would mean to either increase the bad bonuses or pay off backlog. So if between then and now, we still hear that the money is being owed the time that committee was set up, as still being owed now, then the question is, what was that 2 billion used for? Unless, of course, like it happens in Nigeria most of the time, that the money was just announced but never released. Unless that's the case, I will not know. So a lot of questions begging for answers. But the point is this: Nigeria has a very important World Cup qualifying kickoff game tomorrow against Gabon in Rabat, and the players have not changed. So when they train today, the fact that there was no training yesterday would affect their schedule. It will affect their focus. It's going to affect something. So fingers crossed for Nigeria, but I know that something will not be right. But when the team gets on the pitch to play against Gabon tomorrow, something will not be right.
Well, talking about things that are not right, we've traveled on this same road before. This is not the first time we are hearing of the players going on the strike or not training ahead of a crucial game. But something that struck me most is the fact that, like you mentioned, they have been owed in the last 6 years. There's been a report that after the emergence of Shehu Ahmed Guzo taking over from Manju Pinnick, the former federation boss, that there was an agreement that whatever that was owed the team would be waived off and they were going to start on a fresh note. Will you say this agreement has not been put to proper test, or it did not hold, or what they are asking for is only after the emergence of Guzo as the head of the federation?
Now, the truth is this. These so-called agreements, who knew about it? Is it because we have seen a lot of damage control stories and press statements coming from the Sports Commission, and which a lot of the players are denying him. Like yesterday, I saw frontline photojournalist Puja, we all know him, an influencer, who's right there in Rabat. He made a video saying he just got information from the Sports Commission that all bonuses have been paid, all have been paid. The players are only just demanding for special bonuses for these players. But now we are hearing that backlog was waived off 2 years ago. So what is being owed is from 2 years ago. So it tells you that something is not right somewhere. Now, if indeed the players agreed to waive off the backlog from 2019 to 2022, 3 years worth of bonuses, if indeed they agreed to do that, what happened to the bonuses from 2023 to date? Why haven't they been paid? Right? The team captain, William Chusekom, posted on X yesterday, and he said, once a resolution is found, we will be the first to confirm it. That means there's no resolution yet. And this post was yesterday night at 11:20 p.m. He said, once a resolution is found, we will be the first to confirm it. Any other statement or claim, especially demands other than the rightful request written about below, is false. All we want is to continue to do, all we want and continue to do is focus on the big games ahead. Tomorrow is the big game ahead. Are they focused? No, they are not. But William is saying that all the claims made are wrong. The only thing that is right is that the players did not train yesterday, will not train today until they get their money. Now, whether the money is from 6 years ago or from 3 years ago, they feel like players are being paid, owed. And why are you owing the players? Where you consider all the money that comes to the federation, from the sports ministry, from FIFA, from sponsorship, from CAF, a lot of money comes to the federation. Why have they not been paid? That's the question we should ask and demand the answer.
Well, that question lingers on China. As a prelude to all of these debacle, in my own word, that's ongoing in Rabat, Morocco. The first shocker was the fact that Alex Iwobi, midfield player for the team, did post what he described as substandard hotel accommodation for the players. Is this true? And the players are camped in a hotel that do not befit the standard, and of course the crucial tie ahead.
Listen, serious. Alex Iwobi posted that video. I saw the video, and was trying to pass the message to us. He was trying to say, Nigerians, look at the hotel they put your Super Eagles. Now, apparently, after maybe some backlash or some talking from the federation, he came out to post on that video and say, look, I was just posting the hotel. I mean, I didn't mean any harm. But we all know what he was talking about. Now, after that video came out, people went online, went on Google to look at the hotel reviews for that hotel. And most of the reviews say that hotel was a very poor hotel in Morocco. Now, the NFF, in the usual way a corporate body will act, they came up with a video of the front of the hotel and the lobby of the hotel, which looked decent. But I've been in touch with the team in Rabat since yesterday. I've been constantly in touch with them until I slept last night. I've been in touch with the team in Rabat. And the players are saying, we saw the video posted by the NFF of the hotel lobby, but they should have at least made the video of the room. Now, doesn't matter how nice the lobby for the hotel is, for a team that are playing a crucial World Cup qualifying game, I don't think they should stay in a hotel that has that kind of surrounding. I don't think. That's one. Then two, I don't think, look at it, of course we have this on the screen there, and I don't think you should stay in a hotel that has a noisy nightclub right there in it. So a lot of things are wrong. I saw pictures of the hotel that the DR Congo team is staying in. I saw pictures. You will see that the difference is very, very clear. And like I said again, I've read reviews of that hotel, and many people who have reviewed that hotel, people who have stayed there or who know about it have said it's not the place to put a national team. There are much better places in Rabat a national team can stay. Even as Dolphins, when we were in Rabat to play in the CAF Confederation Cup final, we did stay in a hotel with poor surroundings like that, and that's Dolphins Football Club.
China, this, like I said, is not the first time it is happening. Why are people not held, liable or for these actions that embarrass the national football team and Nigeria as a whole? Because it won't happen again. What can we do to ensure that this do not happen again? Because for me, it is a broken record. It repeats.
Okay, before I start, let me just post a review by a hotelier in Morocco. It says, I'm a hotelier. If you're on a business trip, a place like this might do. The rooms are about $100 a night. But if you're a national team in a World Cup playoff, you don't put players in a hotel where they can't rest because of the nightclub downstairs. The Reef Hotel is rated among the worst hotels in Rabat. There are the Conrad, the Hilton, the Marriott, and Four Seasons options that cost around $500 a night. Each is less than 20 minutes from the stadium. That's not too much to pay for a national team. Unless the plan was to keep them out of the limelight, it is the only hotel with enough rooms, or let's be honest, this is a budget hotel. It's ranked number 71 out of 84 hotels in Rabat. Number 71 out of 84 in Rabat for our player Abba. So I'm just reading one of the reviews I read. Then you ask for how long we have made this happen.
Well, no, just China. Before we go, just before you get to that question, let me ask as a follow-up to the review that you just put out there. The Gabonese national team is in Rabat, Morocco. The Indomitable Lions of Cameroon is in Rabat, Morocco. Same as I think the Lions, what they call them, the Congolese national team as well, is in Rabat, Morocco. What will you think is the standard of hotel by these other three teams that are in there for the same purpose?
Like I said, I've not seen the hotel that the Cameroonians and the Gabonese are staying. I've seen the pictures of the hotel that the Congolese team are staying. Pictures of the hotel and the hotel environment. And it's a massive difference from what we are staying in. It's a massive difference. I mean, and for the Congo Dia Hotel. And like I said, and like the review said, if you're on a trip, it's a budget hotel, $100 a night. You can stay there for a night or two. But when the Super Eagles or a national team preparing for a crucial World Cup qualifier, you don't stay in a hotel like that. I mean, we have seen better hotels, I've seen bad hotels, but those videos I saw by Alex Iwobi from his bedroom window, it's not where the Super Eagles should stay. No national team should stay there, except of course NFF is telling us that they are broke and they cannot afford a good hotel. Then it goes back to the question I asked initially: what did they do with 3 billion naira given to them? Abi the money don't finish? We need to ask questions.
Okay, let's get back to the other question I asked you earlier.
It's really tough because for a long time, it's not like when this happens, people speak. There's always an outcry, especially in the media. But the media cannot enforce anything. The media can only speak. You followed Nigeria for so long. Remember in 1994, after the Super Eagles qualified for the World Cup, there was this friendly game against Ghana in Lagos, right? Tilinkeshi and the players decided not to leave the hotel because they had not been paid all the World Cup qualifying bonuses. Keshi held the team back at the hotel. It took Emeka Omera, who was, I think, the sports minister or the NFF chairman at the time, coming to source out the funds and ensuring the boys got their money before they came out. And that was as far back as 1994. 32 years ago. It has happened for so long. Remember in 2002, what was the reason that made players like Sunday Olise, Finidi George, Tijani Babangida, Peter Ogali, Yakubu Ibeni, what made them miss the World Cup, Victor Ekpeba? Because they asked for their money. And the NFA decided that these senior players should not go to the World Cup because they asked for their money. Let's go back to 2016. I'm way further. When the captain of the team was Vincent Iyama and the players refused to get on a plane for a crucial game because they felt things were not right. What happened? Vincent Iyama was axed from the team because of that incident. So it has been happening. And whenever it happens, rather than focus on the people who do not administer football very well, we attack the victims who are the players. Because it's easy for us to say, but you guys are paid. You guys are foreign-based professionals. You need the money. Are you playing for the money? It's easy to say this, but like I said, I've been in touch with the team in Rabat. And what players like William Troost-Ekong are saying is this. So for players like himself, for players like Osimhen, players like Lukman, Ola Aina, Wilfred Ndidi, these are players, Alex Iwobi, these are players that are very well paid in their clubs. They hardly need those match bonuses to survive. But when you saying that the past 6 years, who need the money? Not all fingers are equal. And it's not just about the player, it's about the officials. If I tell you now that the young men who are handling the NFF social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and all, have not been paid for 6 years and they've been left on their own, I'm sure you won't believe it. So we are talking about team officials, we are talking about backroom staff, masseur, curator, media officer, team manager. These are people that are part of the team but do not get paid anything. So the captain is saying this money is for people who have been dropped from that team 5 years ago, for staff who are no longer part of the team for like the past 4 years, who are being owed. So it's not a fight for just me as William Troost-Ekong. It's a fight for even in quotes now, the less privileged among us. So if you ask me, the fight was fought someday. If they don't do it now, they will do it just before the AFCON opening game, and we'll see the same thing. What's the wrong timing? If they don't do it at the AFCON, I will make it out of the playoff. They will do it in Mexico in March, just before the Intercontinental playoff. I will ask the same question: what the timing is wrong? If they don't do it in Mexico in March, they will do it in June, just before the World Cup if we qualify. And what we will say it's a wrong timing. If we don't do it at the World Cup, they will do it in September next year, before the first AFCON qualifying game for the next AFCON, and we'll say timing is wrong. So there is no right timing. It must be done sometime. You can't do it in the off-season. You can't do it when there is no game. But what you can only do it when there's a crucial game ahead. So if you ask me, the players do the right thing, but who tackles the administrators? Is it me? Is it you? All I can do is talk like I'm talking now. All you can do is put the camera in my face and interview me like you're doing now. All the media can do is to publish in the newspapers, write on Facebook, write on social media. That's all the media can do. But who actually brings people to book? I read the report that, I don't know how true it is. The Senate had asked the Senate has invited the NSC chairman and NFL president for a meeting. I don't know how true it is, but those are the people that can take the action. It's from up there, the presidency, because me and you, we can only do what we're doing now, which is speak. So we have done our part. We have been speaking for the past 35 years. You know this shit. We have been speaking for the past 35 years. And that's the only part we can play, is to speak out. We can't enforce anything. So it's the presidency, from the Senate to the presidency, that can actually enforce, that can call Diko, that can call Guzo, that can ask them, why are these players not being paid? So we have done our part. We made it public news. Let them do their own part.
Well, talking about we doing our own part, China, there's something that intrigues me about this whole episode. If you remember, every time we go to play, championship, World Cup tournaments, and Nations Cup qualifiers like this, every match you see a delegation of people who accompany the team to this match venue. Of course, a delegation from the Nigeria Football Federation, a delegation from the National Sports Commission or the Sports Ministry. There's another delegation, maybe, as well from the Senate, another delegation for the House of Reps, Sports Committee, accompanying this team to match venues and all of this. All of this delegation has ESTA code approved for them. We don't seem to hear, any report that their ESTA code has been denied them, or the ESTA code were not paid. And so they come to match venues a week before, 3 days before, enjoy their stay. After the match, they return home. And they don't complain about ESTA code not provided for them, flight tickets not being paid for. Same complaint which this support staff of the team and other officials around the team are complaining of now. They don't get their ESTA code, they don't get their match bonuses, and they don't get paid. But this accompanying, do I call them officials now, from the National Assembly, both Senate and the House of Reps, from the National Sports Commission or the Ministry of Sports, and of course from the National Football, the Football Federation of the country, you see them smiling coming down from the aircraft or even boarding the aircraft.
Okay, what gets you? If a delegation from the if a delegation from the Senate goes to Rabat, for example, we do not really know where it came from. It may not be from federation funds. It may not be from Super Eagles funds. I'm sure the Senate has a sports committee, so they could have sourced their own funds at their own committee level. So I don't think the fact that it's just like me and you, we go and watch Super Eagles from Port Harcourt to Uyo for the Rivers United games. A lot of those teams are self-funded. So the fact that we go for those games does not mean that if we suddenly hear that the Rivers United players are not being paid, someone will now ask me, how do we get our money? So a lot of those teams could be self-funded or funded on committee level.
Oh, China, let me refresh your memory. Let me refresh your memory, China. You remember, we have been part of delegations accompanying teams to outside of Nigeria. And you know that, let's use Rivers State as an example. If Rivers United is going for a CAF Continental game, provisions are made from the Sports Ministry to cover up for the Sports Committee of the State Assembly. There are provisions for 1 or 2 persons from the Rivers State Government House to accompany the team to go. And these are funded by state government. It's different from maybe you and me as sports journalists. Sometimes they cover for the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria at the benevolence of whoever is the sports commissioner. These are funds from the state government as well. And all of these are recorded, as funds as provided for the competition or the championship.
Those funds are for the trip, ESTA code, feeding allowances, and all of that. I don't think that's the issue here. The issue is match bonuses, right?
Right.
Now, the point I'm trying to make now is this. Politicians traveling with the team is quite different. I remember at the World Cup in 2015, I was in Brazil, and I saw lots of state delegations that were there, and these were funded on state level. Right? Yes, at the World Cup level, there was some funding that came from government. So, trying to talk about how the politicians get paid, they are not paid match bonuses. Given when people go on the trip, what they get is ESTA codes, feeding allowances, accommodation, which the players also get. The players get their ESTA codes for traveling. They get their feeding allowances for traveling if they get rid of that. So the ball of contention now is the match bonuses. So the question now is, where do those funds come from? I know that every year the country gets or the federation gets millions of dollars of FIFA for football development. I know that. I know that every time the country goes to the World Cup, the NFF gets at least $9 million from FIFA. I know that at the start of every year, the NFF gets a budget for sports mission that runs into billions or hundreds of millions to run football. And all these things are factored in. They make all these calculations. They're all factored in. And this thing goes beyond the Super Eagles. The Flamingos just came back from the World Cup, right? And they asked everyone to go back to their homes, not paid anything. People have not heard about this one yet. Media officers of the women national teams have been out for the past 7, 8, 10 years. You see, but it takes a strong force to come out and speak. And the strongest force right now is Super Eagles. It's a strong force. Now, for the politicians, that will sort it out. I mean, let's face it, the kind of country we are in, politicians will always travel. Whether the funding comes from the team traveling or from the different committee levels, they are always going to travel. The question now is that the ones that are part of the very assignment you're traveling for, that have funds allocated to them to travel, what happened to those funds? Well, players cannot keep winning matches, you keep promising them bonuses and not paying them 1 year, 2 years, 6 years. By next month, by the time we cross into January, it becomes 7 years, and it goes on and on. And that's why I say it takes intervention from a higher authority. And what's the higher authority? It's the presidency. Only people can come into this. And so, but for us, we can only speak about it, and the players can only protest. But it will be sad if tomorrow we lose to Gabon, not because the Gabonese they are better than us, but because we are ill prepared for the game. And that's what I see. We are going to be ill prepared for that game.
Okay, let's look at the game proper now, China, and I hope that the authorities, the presidency, who is about the only authority that can call this team debacle now to order, and of course make firm promises, will do just that. But let's look at the game. Before this hulabalo about the team not trying to play, let's believe that the team will come out tomorrow to play this encounter. But there has been worry on the part of Nigerians that in the match between Nigeria and Gabon will be handled by South African and Benin Republic officials. These are two countries that Nigeria has had some kind of altercation with. For South Africa, they seem to hold Nigeria responsible for them being dropped 3 points in leading to their qualifying for the World Cup outrightly. For Benin Republic, they believe that they are not at the World Cup because Nigeria beat them, black and blue in Uyo. But haven't CAF appoint officials from these two countries? Would there be a backlash to that decision, especially as it affects Nigeria's qualification?
I did this analysis before, and it means nothing. One, CAF, this is a World Cup qualifying tournament, it's a FIFA tournament. So referees are appointed by FIFA, not CAF. Yes, they are referees, they are African referees, but a lot of the logistics, a lot of the appointments, it's done at FIFA level. So the FIFA thing. Two, I don't see how a referee will be at the center tomorrow and he will now have in mind that Nigeria took 3 points of South Africa, so he's going to give a penalty against us or a red card to Victor Osimhen. No, I don't think that's going to happen. I think just Nigerians try to, should I say, cry out to the public just in case they have something to hold from. Because I did this analysis and I'm asking, when you talk about, because Nigeria, South Africa and Benin Republic are in your group, so their referee should not handle the game. Then who handles the game? Referee from where? From what country? From what region? But for every country you call to handle the game, there always is something to point out. For example, the Gabonese can say we cannot be West African referee because Nigeria is a West African country. So that also knocks out West Africa. If you're going to knock out South African referee from that thing, you're going to knock out all the South African referees, like Lesotho referees, like Zimbabwean referees, like referees of Swaziland, because they're from the same region as South Africa, who might have beef with us. You're also going to knock out referees from Central Africa, that's Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, and the Sierra, because they are from Central Africa, like Gabon. So who do you have for the game? Is it Algeria? Is it are you now going to go to North Africa or East Africa? If you call any country, I'm going to tell you an issue they have with Nigeria in the past. Nigeria knocked out Algeria for the last World Cup. You're having 3 points from Algeria. So would Algeria referees have beef with us? Would they officiate well? What about Egypt? What about Morocco? So there's always something you can point out. But these refs are professionals. They're going to come and do a job, right? So I don't see, it's just, the world is crying wolf. Nigeria is crying wolf. Let's allow things to play out, because if we go this route of saying one referee will do because a country did that, there will never have any referee officiating the game, because every referee you call will have a link to the country that is negative, through diplomatic means and all. I think we should focus on the game and sort out our bonus issues. All this issue of a South Africa referee might be angry because Nigeria took 3 points from South Africa, but South Africa qualified, they top the group. So what's the anger there? Again, so I think we should focus on the game. And our focus has been lost because the story from the team in the past 48 hours, like we said, has not been about preparation for the game. It has not been about training methods. It has not been about who starts and who doesn't start. It has been about, will the players train or not? Will the players play or not? And that's not the way to focus on the World Cup qualifying playoff game.
Okay, let's focus on the game between me and you here, and of course in the benefit of our viewers. Gabon, Zingo Stars of Gabon and the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Player by player, coach by coach.
I think the era of player and player for the Super Eagles is gone. Because a Super Eagles team that cannot win a game without Victor Osimhen cannot be said to be a team. Let's look at the history of our playoffs. We stayed against Lesotho at home and we drew against them. Then Zimbabwe away and we drew against them. Then South Africa at home, we drew against them. Then the Republic away and we lost to them. Then again, and these are the first 4 games of the qualifier. You know the common factor in these first 4 games. Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman did not play. We could not win against the weakest teams in Africa, Lesotho and Zimbabwe. Now the first game that had Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman was the away game to Rwanda, which we won 2-0 away. All this should mean something. When I came back home to play Zimbabwe, with Victor Osimhen playing, and we were 1 goal up, which he scored. The moment he was taken off, we considered equalizer. It should tell us something. So a team that is fully dependent on one player to survive cannot be said to be a team. So that player of saying player by player, I'm not going to do the player by player thing. I'm going to do a Victor Osimhen thing. Will Victor Osimhen play the game tomorrow? Then we stand a chance. Will he not play? Then there's no need playing the game. Because Victor Osimhen makes our national team. Look at our World Cup qualifying game since he came back to the team. The game away to Rwanda, the game at home to Zimbabwe, the game away to Lesotho, the game away to South Africa. It was all about Victor Osimhen. The game at home to Benin Republic, he even scores 3 goals in one game. It shows that he is the team. So player by player, coach by coach, I would say, does Victor Osimhen start? We have a chance. Does he not play? Then we stand no chance. That's my analysis of the game.
Okay, let's hope that Victor Osimhen will bring his form just before that encounter. In the last 3 games, he has been awesome. In fact, he came off a hat-trick going to the Super Eagles camp in Rabat, Morocco. So we hope he will be very good and, of course, continue to score in goals. But another question Nigerians are asking is the level of tactical instruction and, of course, substitution by Eric Chell, the coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I know you have been very critical of his substitution sometimes. What do you how is he going to postulate this game?
Away from Victor Osimhen factor, I would say, our qualification lies in the hands of Eric Shearer, because any Nigerian can name a starting lineup and might almost get this right. Might get the 11 players or get maybe 10 of the players. That means we know our players and we have an idea of who could start, who could not start. Any Nigerian can name a starting lineup. But it takes a coach to manage the starting lineup. Now, because I'm not a coach, I can have 11 players, and Erushel can have the same 11 players, but they will play differently because of what we tell them, the shape of the team, the mentality of the team we have put out there. And that's where the coach comes in. Now, I was most disappointed in him in that duel against Zimbabwe in Uyo, because we are all there in Uyo.
Right.
We are leading 1-0, a goal scored by Victor Osimhen. And by the 75th minute, it was obvious, all of us watching, that the defenders had lost their legs. They are all fatigued. Out of the 4 defenders, only Calvin Bassey was still standing. Now, any sensible coach would have made defensive changes. We are already 1 goal up, and the game was rounding up. Would have taken off maybe a defender or 2, replaced them, or brought the second DM to help the defense. But rather, what the coach did was that when Victor Osimhen fell off, either injured or exhausted, that would have been his time. At that time, we still had Moses Simon in attack. We still had Ademola Lookman in attack. There was a third strike attacker we had in that team. What we have simply done was probably bring in a DM to help the defense. But he took off Victor Osimhen and brought in Tolu Kodare, like for like change. I didn't know what was going to achieve. Next counter attack on the Zimbabweans, our defense could not catch up with them, and that's how we conceded the equalizer. That alone made me a lot disappointed in the coach, because we all saw it. How come we didn't see it? So everything rests in his hands. How he shapes his team tomorrow, how he manages his team tomorrow. Yes, we all talk about Victor Osimhen being the live wire of the Nigerian team. So what if Osimhen gets injured in the first 5 minutes? What if anything can happen? Are we going to stop playing the game? Everything lies in him. Like I said, I'm not too sure of his abilities as a coach. I'm not too sure of it. But you can't take it for the fact that since he came in, our results have improved. Listen, so I'll give him that credit that the results have improved. So hopefully that continues tomorrow. But I'm not holding my breath. I just wish that he does the right thing. A lot of people have cited the issue of William Ekong. We played a game where Benjamin Frederick paired the central defense with Calvin Bassey, and the team did so well with William Ekong resting on the bench. By the next game, he has started William Ekong and pushed Calvin Bassey to the left back, right? And we all know that William Ekong, as much as he has the experience, he has it up in his head, but he has lost pace. And we saw us consider that equalizer and an own goal from him. Now, anybody can score an own goal, but the point now is that should he have been playing that game? So there are a lot of things that what Eruchel's, team selection and team management that are suspects. But again, he's our coach for now. No other coach in the World Cup race won as many games as he did. Our first coach drew 2 games, Pesero. He drew 2 games home and away against the 2 weakest teams in the group. Our second coach, Finidi, drew at home and lost away. So he's the only coach that has come and has given us some wins. I don't think he has not lost since he came. So let's give him that credit. But he needs to manage the team well tomorrow. Or else we'll be crying after 90 minutes or 120 minutes.